Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. We are back again with another one, guys. Make sure you double tap the screen to give the video a thumbs up. Double tap. Subscribe to the channel for the best content on YouTube. Let's get into it, guys. So, Kamala Harris is back in the news. She pretty much slams Donald Trump's $300 million ballroom, basically using a lot of profanity, cussing, and wilding out. Let's take a listen to the video, guys, and we're going to break all of this stuff down. So let's take a listen to the tapes, guys. Tail of the tape. Let's get to it. Let's go.
How much of a teardown is this process? You know, now to bring it to the East Wing, how much of a demo in your mind needs to be done after experiencing the frustrations of some of this in terms of wanting to get things done? How much of a demo project would you take to that process? Do you watch how Trump, forget about what he's doing, the way he's doing it? Is there a part of you that thinks there are lessons to be learned from that?
I believe it's important we not conflate disruption with destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that disruption has a very important role to play, which is basically, as far as I define it, as much as anything about challenging the assumptions, challenging the status quo, right? I can tell you from my lived experience as a public servant, challenging the status quo is brutal. You know, there is an assumption that status quo is static, that it is there. Let me tell you something. You start challenging status quo, you will find it is quite dynamic and it will fight against change every step of the way. I know because I have tried and I've had successes, but I also have the bruises to show it. And so, listen, disruption is important, but destruction for the sake of some grand gesture of look what I can do quickly overnight and just get rid of a thing without any plan for actually what's it gonna, why, and what is it going to actually do to improve people's lives? And not to mention, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are gonna starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big fucking hammer? What about those babies?
What about those babies? What about those babies? What's the point? See, this is the Kamala Harris that we really don't have no time to be entertaining right now. She's literally mad at Trump because of the $300 million ballroom, as if Trump is taking money from the system when the ballroom is being built by the private donors of people connected to Meta, Amazon, all the big wills, right? This is how rich guys are. You know, rich guys do rich guys things. A ballroom is pretty much being funded by the big willies out there, and it has nothing to do with monies that can go towards these kids and everybody else. See, what Kamala is doing, right? She want you, the viewer, to think that somehow Trump is using money that can go towards the poor. What exactly is Kamala doing for the poor? What is Kamala doing for these kids? I don't care about these kids. I'm just being honest with you guys. When you come to the platform, understand something. I deal with logic. I deal with knowledge-based content. These women that are having all of these babies out of wedlock are making the choice to bring babies into a bad situation, right? Nobody's talking about accountability. Nobody's talking about where the baby daddies are. How come the baby fathers are not in these kids' lives to provide for these kids? Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's passing laws that restrict women from having these babies when they can't even afford them, right? So what exactly is Kamala doing here? Kamala is trying to make everyone be angry with Trump as if though he's stealing taxpayer dollars, when really the ballroom is being funded by his pals, his big shot Willie friends, and it is what it is. That's all this is. And she's upset about it. What is she doing? What is she doing for the poor? What money did Kamala give? What did she give to the poor people? Nothing. All she want to do is complain. Listen to this garbage.
Status quo is static. That it is there. Let me tell you something. You start challenging status quo, you will find it is quite dynamic, and it will fight against change every step of the way. I know, because I have tried, and I've had successes, but I also have the bruises to show it. And so, listen, disruption is important, but destruction for the sake of some grand gesture of look what I can do quickly overnight and just get rid of a thing without any plan for actually what's it gonna, why? And what is it going to actually do to improve people?
Somebody said, what are you giving to the community? Another one says, better yet, what are you doing? I'm giving you knowledge. I'm not your savior. I ain't tell you to go have a bunch of damn kids you can't afford. That's your problem. Look, when you go in credit card debt, who's responsible for that bill? I'll wait. When you apply to go to college and you have a school loan debt, who's responsible for that bill? Me or you? You are. So if you have a bunch of kids and you can't afford them, that's not my problem. I don't care. That's not my problem. If you got a bunch of credit card debt because you are an impulse spender, a reckless spender, and now you $30,000 in a hole, I don't care. That's your problem, right? If you buy designer clothes rather than paying your mortgage and your rent, and now you got an eviction notice, that's your problem. If you want to have a bunch of babies out of wedlock, you're not married, you're having kid after kid after kid, over and over and over, a bunch of damn bums, you're sleeping with them, having all of these babies, I don't care about what you're going through. That's your problem, not mine. So when you say, what are you doing? I ain't doing anything. What the heck I look like funding the lifestyle of dysfunctional people that are making bad decisions, digging themselves into a hole. You don't solve the problems that people are having by financing their dysfunction. Do you understand that? You don't continually finance dysfunction and bad decisions. You don't finance that garbage. That's like giving money to an alcoholic. This person is an alcoholic and they're literally standing there saying they need something to drink. You're going to give them the money to buy the alcohol? Is that person going to get delivered from alcoholism? No. It's going to only amplify their problems. So when you're continually giving money to people that are, number one, not making good decisions, they don't have no financial literacy, they're just out here running amok, and you listen to people like this that's continually brainwashing you with garbage, then guess what? You will always be on the bottom. And for all you damn folks that's talking about you just selfish, what are you doing? Because I ain't doing nothing, and I'm telling you straight. You know why? Because I am not financing delusional people. People that make bad decisions. She's trying to guilt trip the president as if though him building a ballroom is not important. That's the equivalent of me wanting to treat myself to a new car after working very hard. And I'm treating myself, and rather than people be happy for me going to get my car, they're more trying to guilt trip me as if though I should be using my money to go give to the poor. No, you give your money to the poor, big mouth. Since you are so concerned with the poor, since you folks are worried about starving kids, you go give your paycheck to them. I bet you ain't gonna do that. You know why? Because you don't care either. And that's the point. You don't care. But you want to continue to play this little game by listening to people like this. Listen to this garbage. Let's go.
And what is it going to actually do to improve people's lives? And not to mention, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends. while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now?
Who cares? What are you doing, Kamala? What are you doing, Big Mouth? You're online literally spewing this garbage, trying to make everyone hate Trump because of a ballroom, but you ain't doing anything. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't saying nothing but talking garbage. You ain't giving nobody no money. You ain't gonna invite the homeless to live in your house. You would not want none of these women, none of these poor people to be in your house. You wouldn't even invite them to the cookout. You wouldn't even spit on them if they were on fire. But you're using all of these mind games, these mental gymnastics to try to gaslight the viewer into making them believe that something's wrong with Trump for getting this ballroom thing situation going when the money that's coming for that ballroom have nothing to do with taxpayer dollars. It's not coming from no fund that's with the treasury or some sort of government. No. It's coming from the so-called private donors from Amazon, Meta, and all the big shots, all the big companies that's out there. These guys are all friends with Trump. So they're the ones donating, financing this bill. Do you understand me? So you're trying to make it seem like Trump is using some money that was designated for these people when he's not. It's private donors, which have nothing to do with what's going on. How about you go back to the Democrats that voted 13 times not to open up back the government and also to release these SNAP benefits for these people? Why don't you talk about that? But no, you don't want to talk about that. You want to get the people enraged to make them be like, oh, Trump is the problem. Trump is the problem. Oh, I can't stand this guy. All he's doing is spending money on a ballroom. No, that's not what he's doing. He's not doing that. We already did a video earlier where Trump made it very clear what he wants to do in regards to the SNAP benefits. It's the courts that's literally prolonging the situation. You see? She want you to focus on Trump in a negative way, guys, when she's not doing nothing for nobody.
Is static. That it is there. Let me tell you something. You start challenging status quo, you will find it is quite dynamic, and it will fight against change every step of the way. I know because I have tried, and I've had successes, but I also have the bruises to show it. And so, listen, disruption is important, but destruction for the sake of some grand gesture of look what I can do quickly overnight and just get rid of a thing without any plan for actually what's it going to, why, and what is it going to actually do to improve people's lives? And not to mention, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now?
She don't even care about the babies, guys. Why is she even talking about babies? Why is she even talking about this as if though all of us should all feel bad? Like, oh my goodness, the babies, they're gonna all starve. Oh my goodness. Trump is so bad, man. I mean, why would he let these babies starve? I don't care. I don't care. Because you're not gonna use the shaming language to try to guilt trip everybody into looking at Trump as if though he's trying to starve babies. That's what she's trying to paint, guys. Like Trump wants to starve babies. When you got families out here that are manipulating the system when they get these SNAP benefits, they turn the SNAP benefits into cash so they could go finance their lifestyle. They don't want to work. They don't want to do what they got to do. They're constantly having all these babies out of wedlock. Nobody's getting married. Baby daddies all over the place. How about we hold the baby daddies accountable? How about we pass new legislations to hold baby daddies accountable and also actually put restrictions on women from even having kids? Because what's the point? What's the point of having all these babies that you can't afford, having all these babies that you're not with the baby daddy, you're not trying to get married, you're not settling down. Now you create a need. Now the taxpayers are literally suffering because they're paying for your lifestyle while you getting ready to go to the club. How many times have we heard these stories of women going on vacation and leaving their kids in the house? How many times have we heard on women going to the club and their babies is unalived in a vehicle, in a hot vehicle, while the mama is in the strip club doing whatever she's doing, while collecting EBT? And we're supposed to be sitting here wasting our time with all this snap nonsense while this woman is literally snapping on this damn broadcast talking about Trump and a ballroom. Nobody got time for this garbage. How about she go out there and feed the homeless, feed the poor? What is this woman's net worth? Do anybody know? Do anybody know the net worth of Kamala Harris? What did Kamala Harris do for these poor folk? What did she do? Because I'm not buying none of this garbage about, oh, these kids are starving. And like we're living in some third world country where all the kids are just starving all day long. No, how about people hold all of these recipients of SNAP accountable, right? And say, look, it's time to go back to work. It's time to get your life together. It's time to stop depending on the government and stop using this damn crap to make everybody feel guilty and sorry. A lot of working people are struggling just like you. A lot of working people are out here unable to eat. There's a lot of people that work a job, a 9 to 5, and they don't got no food in their refrigerator. See, for some reason, you think that everybody that got a job got it all together, they good. No, you have a lot of people that work and they got bills to pay just like everybody else. They got a mortgage, they got rent, they got car note, they got this, they got debt, they got all sorts of stuff they got to pay, right? And when they shop for food, they could hardly buy food. Put a 1 in the chat, guys, if you're a working man, a working woman, and when it comes to shopping for food, you got to literally budget. Every dollar counts because you got to pay your rent. You ain't on no Section 8. You got to pay full rent, full mortgage, card note, gas, all these different bills. So when it comes to buying for food, you got to literally count your pennies and be like, okay, I can't get this. Okay, I could get this pay week. I can't get that steak the way I would like to. I can't buy 4 chicken breasts the way I normally. I could only afford to buy 2 this pay period. And you got people out there that literally, this is how they shop. And yeah, you got these damn SNAP beneficiaries. They could go out there and spend $1,000 on groceries, $2,000 on groceries. They got a pantry filled to the stock, to the point where you open up their pantry door, it looked like a supermarket in there. And you want me to listen to this woman talking about what about the kids? What about the starving kids? What about them? What about them? There's starving people everywhere. What are you talking about? This doesn't make no sense whatsoever. She's literally gaslighting you to make you believe that there's starving children that's out here just literally starving. Where are they? Where are these starving kids? Because I'm going to tell you straight up and down, even if a single mom ain't get her SNAP benefits, she going to figure out a way of getting some sort of food in that house. When I was coming up as a kid, we were poor, dirt poor. And my mama and my grandma made sure food was on that table no matter how she did it. Whether we had beans and rice, whether she created something out of nothing, she made it happen. Period. She made it happen for us. And we were able to survive no matter what the situation is. Let me see. Shout out to JHard7741. Shout out to you for the 5. Says, yeah, brother. White boy here. Shout out to you for the support. Shout out to Forever Studios. Shout out to you, moderator in the building. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Says blessings at Ringo TV. Get a job. Man, I tell you, man. This is what they do, guys. This is what they do all the time in this place. When we talk this truth, guys, people get upset with us over here. Here on Ringo TV Reactions, we believe in it's time to work. It's time to work. Get a job. Get a job. And that's what Kamala's supposed to be saying. But notice, do you hear Kamala telling people to get a job? She ain't telling you that because they want you to stay like this. Ladies and gentlemen, as an American, when you're like this, you have no power. You have no power, no strength. Think about it. When you're like this, you got to wait for the government shutdown to end in order to eat. Do you like living like that? Do you like waiting? I don't like to wait, guys. I don't want to wait for nobody to determine when I'm going to eat, when I'm not going to eat. That's crazy. Are you in the penitentiary? See, in the penitentiary, in the prison system, you have to wait till when it's time for chow. You got to wait. You cannot be in the penitentiary and say, hey, I want to go to get me some burgers. I want to go. No, you have to do as you're told. Well, that is how you are when you are a beneficiary of SNAP and all these welfare programs. You got to wait till they decide when you can eat. I remember when I was a kid and we was on welfare. When that money ran out, we literally had to starve until the first of the month. Wake up, wake up. Y'all remember that? It's the first of the month. And there's a lot of people that don't mind living that kind of lifestyle, waiting for the first of the month. And normally, people's public assistance and all that other stuff, it runs out 10 days before the first of the month. A lot of families be starving for 10 days. So what I recommend you do is go on a fast. If Jesus can fast for 40 days and 40 nights, then you can fast as well. You can fast, ladies and gentlemen. You can fast and wait for the government shutdown to end. Since you want to wait for the government to decide when you're going to eat, go on a fast and pray for 40 days and 40 nights. Just do that and stop complaining. Let's get back to the content. Let's go.
Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big fucking hammer?
I mean, listen to her language, guys. Listen to her language. You already know she's crashing out. She's crashing out. And this is the woman that's trying to speak on behalf of these kids that are supposed to be hungry. Who are these kids that are hungry? And why she's using kids? Why she's not talking about somebody else? Why she's trying to use the most vulnerable of all to play mental gymnastics with you good people so that you could look at Donald Trump as if though he's some horrible person. Let's go.
What about those babies?
What about them?
Right. And I guess the point is, if you're, and I feel your anger on it.
Telling me why am I worried about her is a dumb question. I'm a social media influencer content creator. My job is to report on the news, and my job is to speak on this nonsense that she's speaking on. If she's so concerned about little children that are hungry, what is Kamala doing to feed these so-called children that she's so concerned with? Absolutely nothing, because I'm not doing anything because I don't really care. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't care about what's going on in that situation. You know why? Those are not my kids. And that's how a lot of Americans feel, especially Americans that are out here busting their ASS to take care of their family. They got enough on their plate. You understand? If you want to go out there and have a bunch of babies that you can't take care of, that's your problem. I don't care about what's going on with you. What's going on in your house is your business. If you want to go out there and have babies, you got to listen to me very carefully because I'm speaking on behalf of people that don't even have a voice to speak. We're tired of you. Because all you want to do is use your kids as a crutch to make everyone else feel sorry for you as if though you're entitled to their money to be paying for your damn lifestyle. No, if you go out here, open your legs, knowing good and well you don't have a job, no formal education, and you're bringing life into this world, you are signing up to be responsible on taking care of these kids. Not only that, the man you lay with is signing up to be a father. Not us, not the taxpayers, not the American people, not the government. But what happened is that they put these programs in existence, and it was supposed to be used as a temporary solution to get you through a hard time so that you can get off of it, and then the next person is allowed. Just like Section 8. It's not a solution for lifestyles forever. It was made so that if you're down and out, you're able to get into a nice community, a decent house, whatever the case is, for a short period of time till you're able to get back on your feet. And then you no longer need Section 8. No more. Let someone else have a turn. But no, you don't want no one else to have a turn. You want to do this forever and ever and ever. So not only are you milking the system with Section 8, you're also milking the system when it comes to the so-called SNAP benefits. And people literally live off of this stuff for the rest of their lives. They don't want to go educate themselves to get a better job, better pay. They want to be like this forever. In other words, I'm going to stay on SNAP till I die. That's how their mentality is. In other words, I never have to pay for groceries with cash. You folks who work at a 9-to-5 that have to shop at stores, you can't even afford to buy the food you want to buy. Think about it, guys. You good people that punch that clock every day. When you shop, you have to calculate and budget what you can afford. You don't got no SNAP benefits. And you struggle every time. You struggle to pay your bills. You struggle to buy food. And yet you have folks that are getting a pass, a free ride. And when you look at these folks, they're laughing at the working class people as if though you ain't ish when they're just getting handouts. They literally will come on TikTok and be like bragging. Oh, I was able to spend $1,500 every month on grocery. You know what's $1,500 a month on grocery? They don't need $1,500 a month for groceries. They're squandering the money. Some of these people, they get the money and literally they transfer it into cash and they buy designer shoes, designer this, getting their hair done. You know what I mean? You got some women, they're not even married. The guy live in the house. But based on the system, the paperwork state that she's single and she's a struggling single mom. But she have a man living in the house. He works at a good job. You see how that works? And she's able to get these benefits. She's able to get all that she needs. That stuff needs to end. It really needs to end. And I'm glad that the new restrictions to SNAP was implemented starting November 1st, which means if you want to qualify for SNAP, you have to work at least 80 hours a month. You have to have some sort of education that you're pursuing, or you have to have some sort of training, like a training course or something that you're involved in order to qualify for about 3 months of collecting SNAP benefits. Also, parents that have dependents under 14, they're saying that you would be exempt from the work requirements. So now everybody really has to work. Everybody has to work in order to qualify for the SNAPs. It's no longer anyone who's 18 and under, you're still required to work. Now, if it's 14 and under, you'll be exempt from it. I still think that's kind of bad because to say 14 and under, it shouldn't be 14 and under. It should be anywhere from, I would go as low as probably 9 and under. Because if you're a mom, you would have to raise these kids up. You would have to be there for your kids and whatnot. And I still have a problem with it because I have a problem with the system allowing women to just have babies. How about we just nip the problem in the bud? Put restrictions in terms of if you have these babies, we're not responsible for them. That'll solve all the problems. That'll solve all the problems in America. If the government put restrictions in place that says if you are a mother or even a man and you go out here and you have a baby and you know you can't afford this baby, but you having this baby, the government is no longer responsible. In other words, it's a strike one deal. If you have your first child, there may be some sort of benefits you could get for the first child. If you do this again, you're not eligible for anything. Why? Because you're making these decisions. And we're not going to continue to play this little game with you. Rather than the taxpayers suffer, let's nip this in the bud once and for all. You are not allowed to have no child if you can't afford to have the baby. If you're not married to this man, if this man is not working, we're going to hold you accountable. Because to me, that's child abuse. It is child abuse as an adult to have your legs open and you having all of these babies and you're not even providing for these kids. But then you want the government to come in and take care of all of these kids. That's child abuse. And where is the fathers? She's talking about, oh, what about the children? That's what she's talking about. What about the children? What about these babies? Listen to what she said, guys. Listen to this mess.
You will find it is quite dynamic and it will fight against change every step of the way. I know because I have tried and I've had successes, but I also have the bruises to show it. And so, listen, disruption is important, but destruction for the sake of some grand gesture of look what I can do quickly overnight and just get rid of a thing without any plan for actually what's it gonna, why? And what is it going to actually do to improve people's lives? And not to mention, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends.
Who cares? What's the point? What's the problem? What is the problem with Trump wanting to build a ballroom? Why are you even bringing that up? Why are you pocket watching what Trump is doing? He could do whatever he want to do, just like you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. How about you go tell poor people that you're trying to use, because you're using poor people for your own benefit and enrichment. She don't really care about poor people. And I'm not against poor people. You understand? I'm not rich. I go through struggles just like everybody else. The problem that I see with her is that she's using the poor as if though she really has empathy for them. She really don't. She just don't like Trump. So she's going to use the vulnerable, which are the children. Listen to what she say, guys, because she's gaslighting the viewers.
While completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big fucking hammer?
Look at her language. Does that sound like a woman that really care about babies? No, she don't care about no babies. She don't care about anything. And this is the problem, guys. This is the problem. She want you to believe that Trump is a bad guy and that this ballroom somehow is money that should be used for poor kids. But Kamala's not doing anything for the children. What has Kamala given to the kids? Do anybody know? What did Kamala do for the babies? What did she do? What is Kamala doing for the babies, guys? Could anybody tell me? Because a lot of y'all clapping by what she's saying, but what exactly is Kamala doing for the baby? What is she doing? And you could tell who are the SNAP beneficiaries. It's the people that are in the live chat that's snapping. They're the ones that are literally anti-Trump, anti-government, but yet you have your hand out like this waiting for the government. That's nasty work. It is nasty work to be anti-Trump, anti-government, but you want the government to feed you. That's crazy work right there, guys. Disgusting work. Let's go.
What about those babies?
What about them?
Right. And I guess the point is, if you're, and I feel your, obviously your anger on it. How do we?
Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to Samuel for the $2 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Shout out to Samuel for the support, sponsoring the show. Appreciate the support. Let's get back to the content, guys. Double tap the screen to give it a like. Subscribe to the channel, guys. If you like the commentary, let's go.
It's the Democrats that the system needs to be disrupted enough so that a person that's going to build a ballroom to the disadvantage of people on SNAP, and we're conflating, it's obviously not the same money, but
it's not the same money. There you go. It's not the same money. Boom. Let's rewind that back, guys. Watch this. Because they're both gaslighting, guys. Let's go.
And I guess the point is, if you're, and I feel your, obviously your anger on it. How do we convince the Democrats that the system needs to be disrupted enough so that a person that's going to build a ballroom to the disadvantage of people on SNAP, and we're conflating, it's obviously not the same money, but you're looking at, obviously the vision of it.
But John, let's talk about $20 billion going to Argentina.
To Argentina, right.
And it cost $8 billion to keep SNAP going for poor children?
$8 billion to keep SNAP going. Remember, guys, when I told you in my last live stream, I think I made about 2 live streams and I made it very clear. It's about $8.6 billion every month in order to sustain over 42 million families. I already did all the research. Now think about how much money that is. She's complaining about a $300 million ballroom when it costs $8.6 billion dollars to sustain 42 million American families. Make that make sense. What is her argument about? The money that is going towards that ballroom is not coming from any government program or some special reserve money that's sitting somewhere, taxpayer dollars. It's coming from private donors, from Amazon, Meta, all of Trump's friends, big shot billionaire guys. They're footing the bill. This is all private money, which have nothing to do with SNAP. So for her to be snapping, that shows that she literally is using the situation to throw shade at Trump, to make him look like he don't care about the kids. You understand? And guys, let me make something clear. Let me get back on camera. Check this out. Insulting me does nothing for me in terms of like you're destroying my life, whatever the case is. What are you doing for these kids? Because you're displaying a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. Your frustration should be the fact that you don't want to work, that you depend on a system that, in my opinion, failed you. And you're not even concerned about the Democrat Party that literally has voted 13 times to not fund your SNAP benefits. We talked about that in the last stream, but nobody's talking about that. Nobody cares about that. Why? Why you're not talking about the Democrat Party and how they're literally ignoring the fact that you're out here struggling, trying to figure out how your family is going to survive. And look, all money is accepted. We're not going to discriminate. So check this out, fam. Shout out to Earn, I believe the name is. You says real life Uncle Ruckus right here. Hey, you should super chat 100 more times. $4.99, 100 more times saying the same thing. You know what I mean? We appreciate your support. We appreciate all your compliments. It will definitely go towards a great plan for life, right? So appreciate you, Earn 813, for your support and trolling. Make sure you do it again more often. Now, let's get back to the content, guys. Double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Let's get it popping. Let's go.
Right.
Come on. And taxpayer dollars, by the way.
No.
When I think about
No, you lying. See, she just lied, guys. Kamala just lied. Kamala, you just lied. You said taxpayer dollars. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. You trying to make it seem like Trump took money from the people. Do you see what she's doing, guys? Do you see what happened? She's literally trying to make it seem like Trump took money from the people to go build his ballroom. Do you see what she just did? Listen to it again. Let me put it back. Let me rewind it back, guys. Give me a minute. Double tap the screen, guys, to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
$8 billion to keep SNAP going for poor children?
Right.
Come on. And taxpayer dollars, by the way.
Right. When I think about like your campaign, right? Have we lost sight that the old
How do you take money from the devil? Somebody said he took money from the devil. What are you talking about? Took money from the devil. Oh my goodness, bro.
don't apply? You've got a great thing in there. I think David Plouffe said to you at some point, he said, you got to nail 4 things. You got to nail the rollout.
Right.
You got to nail your debate. You got to nail your convention speech. And you got to nail, I think there was one other thing, might have been your VP or.
Yeah.
And
We don't want to hear none of that garbage. What I'm here to focus on is the fact that she mad that Trump is building a ballroom and she's using that to push her own agenda to try to make people look at Trump as if though he's stealing money from the American people to do that. No, he's not. You understand? The donors are private donors from all these big tech companies, all these major platforms, these billionaire guys. They're footing the $300 million for the ballroom. If that's what Trump want to do, let Trump do what he want to do. What's the problem? What is the problem? What is the issue? So he's not supposed to do that? He don't got control over why people are not getting their SNAP money. That's not his problem. If you guys would study what's going on, you would know who is causing all of these problems. You would know why the shutdown is going on. Is anybody doing their research? Is anybody keeping up with the times? Is anybody watching the news? Because it seemed like people are just like it's like one big echo chamber of sheeple that just hate Trump. But nobody's looking at no one else and saying, well, damn, I ain't know the Democrat guys voted not to get this money out to the people. That's crazy. Why are we hating Trump for? Because you've been brainwashed by social media. Social media been brainwashing you. You know? Somebody said, black and dumb, you are the sheeple. Trump giving the people a new bathroom for free. Who causing them? And who's going to pay for the maintenance of the ballroom? Not the donors. I'm telling you, bro. Like, people need to really make America great again and do what is needed for their own personal lives, man. Because it's like, it's just crazy and sad that this woman is literally using children to gaslight you guys as if though she cares about children. What has Kamala done for the kids, guys? What money did she raise? Did Kamala have a fundraiser for all the kids? Did she do that? Is she giving up her money, her personal finances? No. But she want Trump to do everything. All she's doing is just being negative. That's all she's doing. In a narrative, spinning a narrative, so that the American people can blame him. This is what they've been doing for a long time. Let's blame Trump. Let's just blame him for everything. It's easy to do it that way. Let's not take accountability for the fact that a lot of people that are in these horrible conditions are making bad decisions. Do you think it's smart in 2025 to be having a bunch of babies when you can't afford them? Yes or no? Do you think that is a smart idea? As an adult in 2025, do you think it is good practice to have babies when you can't even afford to take care of yourself? Do you think that's smart? That's like going out and spend your life savings to buy a Lamborghini. Let's just say you have $500,000 saved up in your bank. You've been working your whole life and saved up $500,000. You're about 55 years of age, and you say, you know what? Let me live life a little bit, go get my dream car. You go get this car, even though you can't really afford it. You could buy it, but you can't maintain that car. You're not really rich. You just have 500 grand in the bank. That's it. It's a lot of money to have in the bank. It'll last you a minute. But let's just be honest. You can't maintain that car. If that car get into an accident, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. You understand? Very big trouble. That's the equivalent of having babies out of wedlock and you know you can't afford it. What's the point? Live within your means. It's not time to have children yet. So why the federal government is not putting in place restrictions on, and I'm not saying you can't have babies. You should be able to have a baby when you want. But if you know you can't afford one, what's the point of having one? You're having babies just so that you could go on Snap. You're having babies and then you're complaining, just don't have no more babies. Every year you have a new baby, you're stressing yourself out even more. And there have been people that keep having babies every 2 years in order to stay on the system. You know? That's crazy, man. When is the cycle going to end when it comes to the SNAP benefits, the welfare? When is it going to end? How many more years will families remain in this poverty-stricken system year after year after year? When is it going to end? The name calling ain't putting food on your table. You can name call till kingdom come. You are still broke. You are still struggling. You still have no food on the table. What are the solutions that's going to give you some peace of mind? What solutions are you going to do for your family to better yourself? All you're doing is just being ignorant at this point. Insults, name calling, none of that stuff is doing anything to me. You're still in a bad situation. And you will always be in that situation. Why? Because you hate Trump, you're anti-government, but for some reason, you want SNAP to get back in place so you can get money. But you claim you're not on the left or the right. You don't care about politics. You don't care about the government. You don't care about anything, but you crying for those SNAP benefits. Make that make sense. Somebody said, black guy wearing a MAGA hat. This is crazy. I'm really convinced that a lot of people that show up to these live streams when we're cooking and we're talking about real issues, a lot of you are like zombies. Y'all just like parrots. I keep repeating the same thing. Imagine no food is on your table and you're concerned with a hat. And you say it like a black man is not supposed to wear this hat. See, I'm not one of you folks that is like so stuck on the left that it's like you figure these people are trying to save you from something. Like they really are so concerned for the poor. They want you to remain poor. That's how they stay in business. And it's something you don't understand. Once you wake up to the truth, once your eyes are open and you realize exactly what's been going on all these years where they constantly try to make you feel like, oh, you know, they really are concerned for the poor. They just really want to see you guys successful. No, they don't. They need for you to be at the bottom. That's how they're able to grow, guys. That's how they're able to grow. Let me rewind it back so we can listen to what she said. I believe it was clock 47. Let's go.
As opposed to, well, it's never been done before. Not many people are doing it. There must be a reason they're not doing it. Let's just let it be.
Right.
We have to challenge the system. So that is about an ethos.
How much of a teardown is this process? You know, now to bring it to the East Wing, how much of a demo in your mind needs to be done after experiencing the frustrations of some of this in terms of wanting to get things done? How much of a demo project would you take to that process? Do you watch how Trump, forget about what he's doing, the way he's doing it? Is there a party?
Somebody said, I don't think the Bible teaches about only loving your wealthy neighbors. Do you think only poor, loose women have all these babies, get benefits? Let me explain something to you, right? Let me do something real quick. Let me do something real quick, guys. Let me do something real quick. Let me look something up for you real fast. Yeah, maybe this will help you out, right? Maybe this will help you out, guys. It may not. I don't know, right? But let me see if I could do this. Let's see what we got. Alrighty. Let me do this. Because for some reason, people like to try to make people feel guilty for their current situation as if though that's my fault, right? I told you already, if you're a man and you're out here having a bunch of babies and now you're on child support struggling, you deserve it. Why? Because you had those babies. I don't care about your situation. If you're a woman and you are constantly having babies out of wedlock, you can't afford them, and you continually do this over and over and you're struggling, I don't care, right? Let's just call it what it is. See, I'm going to say things straight. I'm not going to say things in order for you to like me. I'm going to say what the American people have been saying forever. Go get a job. Be accountable. Stop having all these babies out of wedlock. Make better choices for your life. It's just that simple. It's time to be an adult, right? Let's see. Let's see what we got. I want to go find something real quick so I can share with you guys so you can know what's going on. Let's see. I believe it's in the book of Matthew. Let's see if it's in here. Alrighty, come on. What's going on? Let's see, this thing is bugging out, guys. This thing is bugging out. I don't even know if this internet is working. Oh, okay. We're here. All right. All right, let me get this on the screen. Put a 1 if the video is playing good. Put a 1 if the video is playing good. Because I don't know if I'm having some tech issues, but I don't think I think everything is good. Everything should be good. I want to put something on the screen for you guys to see, right? Put something on the screen for you guys to see. Hopefully you'll learn something from it, right? So let's see. All right, you put the 1s, okay. All right. All right, let's get this. I'm gonna put something on the screen for you guys to understand something about poor, right? Because for some reason, people keep trying to shame people and guilt tripping people as if though like poverty can be eradicated, right? Let's see what the Bible says about that, right? Let's see what the Bible says about that. Okay, give me a minute. Let me see. Let me do this. Now, I don't know if you're able to see this. Let me flip the camera. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. All right. Okay. Now, let me see. Let me put this in frame. All right. So, according to the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 10 to 11, it says, "When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me." That was pretty much the woman that anointed his feet with the oil and so and forth. And it goes on in verse 11. It says, "For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always." Now, what did Jesus Christ say? He said, you're basically going to have poor people with you always, always. So when I hear people talking as if though all Trump got to do is this and all the problems are solved, poor people will always be in this world. There will always be poor people. And the reason being is because of the way people think. A lot of people want to be poor. Believe it or not. People want to be poor. Let me just say it straight. Let's just stop the nonsense, stop the BS. If you're poor, you want to be poor. You want to be. You don't want to work. You don't want to do anything. You want everybody to feel sorry for you. Listen, guys, I know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people that have opportunity. America is full of opportunity. Foreigners come to America, establish themselves, open businesses, and they become successful and they're able to take care of their families. You got people that live in America their whole life and all they do is struggle all day. You know why? Laziness. Nobody wants to work. And then if they get a job, that's as far as it go. A job that's not paying well. Then they complain, oh, these jobs are not paying well. Well, it's not about they're not paying well. You got the low barrel job. That's the job you chose. You signed up for that. How could you complain about a job not paying well when you signed up for the job? You're only getting paid based on your work performance concerning that job. If you want to get paid more money, you're going to have to get new skill sets and apply for better jobs that actually respect your time, even negotiate your salary. But if you don't got no skills, if you're not have no formal education, right, then what are you complaining for? That's going to be your life. You can't get mad at the person who's successful. They're the ones that actually work. People that are successful are the ones that are grinding every day. They're the ones that's working all the time. And for whatever reason, you get jealous of them and you want them to feel bad for their success. I'm not going to feel bad for my success. I'm not going to feel bad for the fact that I made better decisions than you. You understand? I go through struggles just like everybody else. I got to pay bills just like everybody else. Just like everybody else. When I shop, I got to determine what I could afford and what I can't afford. Just like everybody else. But for some reason, you don't believe that. You think that everybody's rich and everybody's wealthy and we don't got no problems. Whereas you get these SNAP benefits, you're living good. You're on easy street. The Bible is very clear. It clearly says, for ye have the poor with you always. Always. You know? And if you want to go do something for poor people, go ahead and do it. But don't blame people that are living their life. They go through their own issues. If all of you folks that are viewing care so much about the poor, right? This is what I want you to do. Let's stop BSing. Let's stop running at the mouth. One of you go start a GoFundMe, right? And then all of you folks that are so concerned about the poor, each of you put $100 in, right? And then go to all the poor people and distribute the money out to them. Go do it. You ain't gonna do it. You know why? You want somebody to do that for you because you want money. The truth is, nobody cares. That's the reality of this, all right? And when you have a system that allowed people to live this lifestyle where they don't have to work, and even if they do work, they can manipulate the system to keep getting more benefits. It makes having a low-paid job a good thing. Think about that. If you're getting paid $1,500 in SNAP benefit and you have a low-paying job and you're able to pay your rent, pay your bills, do all this other stuff, you living good. Because that's the equivalent of, let's say you only made probably $2,000 probably every 2 weeks, right? If you're making $2,000, $2,500 every 2 weeks, and that's all you make, and you're getting $2,000 in SNAP benefits, you're making the equivalent of what somebody that makes probably $80,000 a year make. You're literally bringing in probably roughly $4,500 a month to $5,000 a month. So you're living pretty good. You're not getting you don't have a high paying job, but you getting paid $2,000 in SNAP benefits. That's crazy. You know? Let me see. Somebody says, my man, you're on YouTube getting donations. And I'm working. What are you doing? You're watching me, remember? You're watching me. I don't have a gun to nobody's head. People donate to me because I'm actually working. You're watching me. Think about that. You're wasting your time watching me. So if you feel that way, why are you watching me? Why are you watching me? I'm at work. I'm working. People enjoy my commentary. They like the truth that I'm sharing. They donate. Why are you pocket watching? Why are you jealous? I bet you if you start a YouTube channel, nobody won't donate to you. I guarantee you. You know why? You don't have no truth in you. You're not talented, right? Nobody likes you. You don't have a good personality, and you always complain. So you don't have no content to talk about. I talk about a variety of topics that are affecting people's lives. And I'm speaking on things that a lot of people talk about and actually think about. And this is the issue. So when you're focusing on me, pocket watching what I do, what you should be doing is filling out an application for a job. What you should be doing is getting your resume together and stop worrying about me. Because I'm not online with my hand out talking about, well, you know, I need this, I need that, and I'm not working. Me doing content is work. Work you can't do. Go get a camera and come online. Let me see how many people show up to your show. 0 people would be there. You know why? Because you don't got nothing to talk about. The only thing you talk about are the people that's actually getting results. You're just a loser. And that's the problem with society. The people that are outside winning, hustling, and working, right? They're being hated on by jealous people that see you working. How many of you, with a show of one in the chat, You've been working hard. Your family turned against you. Friends are jealous of you. Co-workers are acting up. People start acting weird because they see you growing. It doesn't mean you're a millionaire. It just means you made better decisions. Either you got a nice car, you moved out, you have a nice apartment, probably just purchased your own home. Whatever the case is, you're doing better and everybody around you start acting weird. You know why? Because you're doing better than them and they're jealous. That's just the way people are, guys. Human nature is just to be jealous. It's sick. Shout out to, I believe that's Mr. or M. Ryan. I'm not sure. Wait, Mr. I Only Matter, I believe it's the name. Shout out to you for the membership. It says you sent 5 Ringo TV Reactions memberships. So shout out to you for gifting 5 memberships to viewers. Shout out to you for that. Let me see what the chat is saying. You only have a few people that have jealous people. But nonetheless, guys, let me see. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know where you live, but rents are minimum 3,000 to 4,000. New York. I'm originally from New York, so I know all about high paying rent. You're not saying nothing to me. That's new, right? I'm originally from New York. I actually now live in North Carolina. I've lived in New York all my life, so I know all about high rent. I know all about it. You're not telling me nothing new. Do you understand me? So you says, I don't know where you live, but rents are minimum 3,000 to 4,000, New Jersey, New York area. So your income basically goes for your housing. How are you supposed to eat? That's not my problem. That's yours. Welcome to America. That's your problem. Get out of New York. If you don't like the rent, get out of New York. It's just that simple. Move out into the South. 3,000 to 4,000 for an apartment is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Get out of New York. Make better decisions to make your money last longer. For $3,000, you can do a heck of a lot more in the South somewhere, in a southern state. You know? It's just that simple. But no, you want to remain in a state where prices are extremely high for everything. Some people are spending $3,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, that's what you get if you are in New Jersey or New York. Typically, look, New York, in my opinion, I love New York. I'm a New Yorker at heart, Brooklyn, New York. At the end of the day, everything in New York is expensive. Everything is expensive. Even if you live in the projects, it's expensive. Those of you that live in the projects, you know, if you have a job, how is your rent based? It's based off of your job. So how much you get paid, they base your rent on your job. Right or wrong. So no matter where you live in New York, you're going to be paying top dollar. That's right. No matter where you live, you're paying big rent if you are living in those areas. So if you don't like it, you got to make better decisions. You got to say to yourself, hey, I got to escape this poverty. I got to escape this mess. Let me relocate. I'm just going to relocate, save my money, budget, get my credit right. I can't continue paying this type of rent. I can't. I'm not getting my money's worth. You need your money to do more for you. You understand? Your money needs to do more. A 1-bedroom apartment, $3,000, that's insane. That's for somebody who's an artiste, someone who got money and they want to live in New York. They could afford to rent out a loft, a studio apartment, and in a nice neighborhood, a nice area of New York, and spend $3,000 to $4,000. They could afford to do that. They got money coming in like crazy. But if you got a job that's not paying you well, you got to live within your means. So if there's nothing available to you because it's like you don't got enough money to survive, you shouldn't be living there. You need to move. You know? You said, how can he talk so much and not say nothing? The feeling is mutual. How can you listen so much if I'm not saying nothing? So obviously something must be wrong with your brain. If I'm not saying nothing and you're listening, something's wrong with you. Yeah, something is definitely wrong with you. Hey, shout out to Joe for the $10 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Shout out to Joe for the support sponsoring the show. Guys, if you can be so kind, double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. Maybe you don't know, but on YouTube, when you double tap the screen, that is how you thumb up a vertical live stream. Appreciate the support, guys. Let me see. Somebody says, you are bad at grifting. Bad at grifting. Well, you're bad at watching. Remember that. You're watching me. I don't get this. You're bad at grifting. What is that? Is that like a black thing? Because last time I checked, black folks don't support each other. Do you support the poor in your community? Absolutely not. You don't. Do you give to the needy? No, you don't. You want everybody that have some sort of success to put money in your pocket. No, you got to go work. You see me? I'm working right now. I'm doing content. I'm producing videos. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That's why people are watching. There's people out there that want to say these things, but they don't got microphones. So when they hear me say it, these are their words. This is exactly what they've been thinking. This is what they've been saying all along. They don't care about all these problems you going through. Like, really, I'm just being honest with you. I do not feel sorry for people that continually keep having babies and they can't afford them. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. Do you feel sorry for a man that have 8 kids and he's crying about being on child support? Nobody feels sorry for him. He's a grown man having babies. He can't afford them. So he's mad that his baby mamas put him on child support. He got what he deserved. That's his sentence. I don't care. So if we don't care about that man having all these babies, what about the ladies that are having the babies? How come nobody's saying the same thing? It's interesting. There's a double standard where people will condemn the man and hold him accountable, but nobody want to hold accountable the women who are actually having the babies with men that are not responsible men. Why we don't want to have that conversation? Ladies, why would you have a baby with a man that don't have a job, a man that is not responsible, a man that don't got himself together, no car, no house, no nothing? This man is a bum, and you're literally carrying his baby to term. What's the matter with you? You're doing it because you figure the government will take care of me. That's why you're doing it. Because you know that man is a bum. You know the man is a bum. You know he ain't going to take care of the baby. But you said in your heart, the government will take care of me. You know? Yeah. Why have kids if you cannot work or afford them? I mean, is that so hard for people to understand? I've been saying that forever, and people keep getting mad at me. Like, it doesn't make no sense. If you can't afford something, don't get it. Don't get it. You know? Because you're going to end up struggling and struggling. A lot of us are struggling just with our normal life. Listen, guys, when you pay your rent, with a show of one, guys, when you pay your rent, your mortgage on the first of the month, after you pay your rent, do you get a relief? Like, man, got to figure out how to get next month's rent, next month's mortgage, bro. It's like once you pay it, you feel a sense of relief, like you could breathe. Like, okay, just pay my rent, bro. Just pay my car note. Just pay my mortgage. All right, now I got to work and grind so I can make it to next month. A lot of people are in that boat. Do you really think we got time to be worrying about all this BS that's going on in the world when we got bills? This is why I be telling you, a lot of people be having selective outrage. A lot of people be having selective outrage. Y'all be getting outraged about stuff that you really don't care about. What you care about is paying them bills. That's what you care about. I could understand if you're well off. Look, if I'm well off, I'll be helping people all the time. If I'm well off. But one thing I'm not going to help are people that can help themselves, and I don't see them working. If I see somebody working, I'm going to use wisdom with my help. Meaning, let's say, for example, you're a person who is poor, and I see you purchase a cheap lawnmower, and you take that lawnmower, cheap lawnmower is garbage. I mean, it really is. At the same time, you invested your money into it, and you went around the neighborhood mowing yards. And it takes you forever to mow these yards. And I'm a neighbor in the community, and I'm seeing you doing this. And I'm watching this young man mow these yards with this cheap mower. You came to my yard, and I gave you business. I let you mow the yard, and I'm literally looking out the window like, you know what? Let me help this young man. And I'm well off. I got money. Because I see you working, doing something, it's going to move me to support your business. And I would stop that young man if I have the means. And I would ask that young man, how would you like to go purchase yourself a zero-turn mower? How would you like to purchase a better vehicle than this? Because he's carrying the mower in his trunk of his car. If I got money like that, I'll buy him a truck and invest into his business. I'll buy him a zero-turn mower and invest in him. You know why? Because I see the young man working. But I'm not going to invest in that man if he's sitting on his ass complaining like this and he don't want to work. I don't got no respect for him. But if I see that young man out there working, I'm going to see myself when I was young, and I'm going to be like, Dag, he really hustling. He really hustling. And I'm going to be like, hey, guy, hey, you really motivated me to support your business. I'm like, look, whenever you're ready, when you finish these yards over here, we're going to go get that machine for you, a zero-turn mower. You shouldn't be using this mower. This mower is not efficient. This mower can't get the job done. You need to do these jobs quick. And we're going to go and we're going to do what we got to do. And I'll support his business. And I'm pretty sure any businessman that is successful and got money, if they see a young man working and they see the hustle, it'll move those men to want to come in and support that business. That's a fact. But see, folks like you that are selfish, that don't have a business mindset, that don't believe in working and want to have your hands like this all damn day, and you don't want to go out there and try to become something, nobody will ever support you. Nobody will ever support you. And that's the truth. And another reason why nobody would support you is because you don't even believe in yourself. You don't even believe that there are people out there that actually do this type of stuff. There are people that are around you that are millionaires. They're literally millionaires, and they watch you. And they're just waiting to see what you're doing. Are you going to work? Are you going to do something? So they can invest into it. And when they don't see you doing nothing, they ain't going to support nothing you do. Nothing. You'll be just sitting there being mad at yourself. Shout out to T_Ellie_S for the dollar support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Yeah. So, guys, we're going to pretty much get up on out of here. It's just sad how Kamala is using babies in order to take shots at Trump. It's sad because she's not doing nothing for them. Trump's ballroom is not being funded by your money. It's being funded by private donors. Private donors, guys. And people are blaming Trump. She even said it's coming from taxpayers. That's a lie. How come I don't see nobody in the chat saying that we call it Kamala's lying? How come nobody's saying Kamala lied? That's not coming from no taxpayers' dollars. That's coming from the big willies from Amazon. I forgot the guy's name. What's his name, man? He always have a bunch of bodyguards around him. The white guy. I forgot his name. The Amazon guy, Meta, and probably Elon. You know, all these different people. They're the ones who are the big donors. You know. Let me see. Let's see what we got here. Hey, shout out to Azandra in the building. Shout out to Azandra in the building. $100 support. Blessings, Rango, with love. Hey, I appreciate you always coming through, supporting the show. You're making the haters upset right now. Somebody was just in the live chat basically saying stuff about I'm getting donations from people. And I just finished telling the person that I'm actually up working. I could literally just go to sleep. But that's not what the case is. I have to work. And doing content is a business. It's a job. And I'm doing content about the stories that matters, the stories that people want to see. And they're complaining about me receiving donations as if though I'm like it's wrong for people to support. And it's not wrong. If people believe in your work, and I'm speaking in general now to everybody that's viewing, if people believe in what you do, they will support you. Don't get mad at me for people who support me. They support me because they believe in what I do. They see that I'm a man of my word. I'm consistent. I mean, I did probably I think 4 live streams back to back. I literally been on a roll, you see? And it's like I'm getting into a flow. And that's what I always wanted to do because ever since I moved from New York, literally, I've been in North Carolina for about a year and a couple of months. I'm still adjusting to being in North Carolina. Because when I was in New York, I was on a flow when it comes to my content. I was just throwing content out over and over and over and over because I was like, I had a system in place. So I'm still getting adjusted. And it's like I'm getting to the point where I can flow. I'm figuring out new ways of how to put out content quicker and be more consistent. That's work. That's not me wasting my time. You know, so when people be like, oh, get a real job, I'm like, get a real job. If you think this is not a real job, go do it. Go do it. You said, no, it isn't work. Anytime people, let me give you the breakdown, guys. When people say stuff like, go get a real job, what they're essentially saying is, go suffer like me. That's what they're saying. Go punch a clock, suffer like me in a dead-end job where I have no time for my family. I'm working all day. I don't get no rest, and I'm stressed out. That's what they're saying when they say get a real job. That's crazy. I don't want that. I want to be able to spend time with my kids, spend time with my family, and do what I need to do. Right? Yeah, Trump 2028. It is what it is, man. People just be mad. Again, shout out to Azandra for the $100 support. Appreciate you always sponsoring the show. Let me see what's going on here. YouTubers, what? YouTubers make money. Try it. Yeah. YouTube. Listen, social media, you can earn money on social media depending on your creativity, but it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You have to be a content creator. If you're not a real content creator, it's not going to work for you. All right? Let me see. Shout out to Jeremy Jackson for the $2 support. Says, you mad You have mad TDS trolls in chat. Trump 2028. Yeah, it's mad. Listen, it's a bunch of trolls. And I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they come from. I don't know if the hat is a magnet for trolls. I don't know. But they come in anytime I have on this hat. I don't know if you notice this, guys. When I just make a regular live stream and I'm wearing my Brooklyn hat or I don't have on no hat, I do not see the trolls, bro. They don't show up. It's like when I put on the hat, the trolls come in by the droves. It's weird. Let me see. You said it's definitely the hat. Definitely it's not about the hat. Well, what is it about? I don't see what's the problem with the hat. You know? Oh, I ordered my American flag. It's going to go in the backdrop. I ordered my American flag. So that's on the way. Can't wait for that to show up. I'm trying to get the background situated. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get it situated for the content because it's like I have multiple studios in the house, but I like this little corner here. It actually helps out with the content. You know, I have another studio down here. You know, we're going to be doing some content down here as well. As you can see with the lighting, you see like the lights and stuff on the walls, right? There's another studio back here, you know, so all in all, we have a lot of stuff that's going on, guys. Yeah, so we're going to get up on out of here. We're going to talk more about this story. I wanted to review the whole video with Kamala, but it's not really necessary because I already know what her agenda is. You know, I just wanted to hone in on how she's trying to attack Trump about the ballroom. Trump can do whatever he want to do with that ballroom situation. It has nothing to do with any government money that should be distributed to SNAP recipients. It's not for them. That money is coming from donors, similar to when people super chat. People that super chat, they're doing that because they're supporting my show. So when Donald Trump received donations for his ballroom, it's his supporters that are supporting him. How you expect him to take the support that's for his ballroom and say, you know what, let me take that support and give it to the SNAP beneficiaries? No, that's not how it works. What you need to do is go to the Democrats and ask them why they voted 13 times to stop your SNAP benefits from coming through. Because they can end the government shutdown if they want. So that being said, guys, we're going to get up on out of here. Appreciate everybody stopping by for the show. It is what it is. Somebody put Harris 2028. Nah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You can't impeach Trump. What did he do? See, you guys are not educated. You're saying impeach him. Impeach him for what? Do you even know what impeach mean? Do you even know what are the grounds to impeach a president? Some people be saying stuff that don't make no sense, bro. Anyway, guys, you take care. It is what it is. Shout out to the haters. Come back next time. We're going to have more shows. We invite you to come on back and continue to hate and bring more trolls with you as well. So, guys, double tap the screen to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Also, guys, hype the video after the live stream ends and come into the comment section, guys. When the live stream ends, come into the comment section and let me know what you think about the video. What did you learn from it? Do you support Trump? Are you a Trump supporter? Do you Trump Harris? Like, what are your position on the situation? Do you believe that Trump is the problem? Do you think the ballroom is unnecessary? What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comment section. So again, shout out to Azandra for the support. Shout out to everybody else that contributed to the live stream. And you all have a blessed day wherever you are. And also shout out to all my truckers that are on the road, the DHL folks that are out there, UPS, FedEx, Amazon workers. Shout out to all of you on the night shift, United States Parcel Service. Those particular services, guys, I use these services all the time. And I know those workers are working very hard round the clock, especially the truckers that are out on those roads for long hours, moving boxes of materials that we all need. So, hey, Shout out to you truckers out there. You're much appreciated. Because a lot of you guys, y'all watch my videos all the time. You know what I mean? A lot of truckers watch me. So I want to always make sure that I shout out my truckers out there. So y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next stream. I'm out. Peace.